everyone. Welcome back to 31 Days of Yoga for Mental Health. Today is day 27, dance. In today's practice, we're going to be working with lots of fluid and flowy movements, really threading movements together so they all connect one into the next like a dance. All you'll need is yourself and a space to move, and when you're ready, let's begin. We'll get started today in tabletop. So climb up to hands and knees. Claw all 10 of your fingers into your mat, really plug your hands down, and we'll take some gentle cat-cows to begin. Inhale, lower your belly, lift your heart, lift your gaze, and spread your sit bones wide. Exhale, press into your palms, pull your core in and up and round and curl. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze, begin also to really deepen your breath, like broad brush strokes. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale. Exhale. And take a few more rounds at your own pace. You can pick up the pace, adding a bit more rhythm, or you can stay with slow and steady, really articulating the spine, waking up the full body. And come back to a neutral spine, a steady tabletop. Tuck your toes behind you, and then just start to glide your hips back to active child's pose with the heart still reaching forward. Maybe the palms slide just slightly out a little bit more. And then move through cat and shift your hips all the way forward to upward facing dog with toes tucked. So press your toes and all 10 fingers into the mat to lift your thighs to elevate. Open the heart and then re-ground the knees and drag the hips super slowly back to active child's pose. Keep the toes tucked all the time and then round and curl, pull it forward, tuck the toes, open the heart, upward facing dog with tucked toes, and exhale, shift it back. And again, move through a few more of this front to back, opening the heart and then driving it back to the child's pose at your own pace. If you'd like to start going a little more quickly, a little more fluidly, go for it. You can feel like your body is like a wave here, rolling through each piece of the movement, erupting at the top and then sort of receding as you glide back. One more. Good. Come to a neutral tabletop, ground your palms, tuck your toes, and pick your knees up to lift your hips all the way up and back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths, maybe to pedal out the feet or shift hips side to side, sway into your space and let the whole back line of your body grow longer. You can feel as if there's strings attached to your inner thighs that are being tugged backward. And there's also a string pulling on your tailbone to lift it up and back more as the sit bones spread wider apart. Inhale to lift up onto the balls of your feet and then wave slowly forward to high plank. Traction your palms and your toes together all the time, like you could squeeze your mat together. And then bend the knees, and from the tailbone, lift your way all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Again, like that, inhale up onto the toes, wave forward to high plank, pull your core in and up the whole time by pressing more down into your palms, and then exhale, glide it back, downward facing dog. One more like that, inhale, wave forward, high plank, exhale, micro bend the knees, glide it back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift up onto balls of feet. Wave it forward all the way through high plank and then let your hips melt down. Keep a micro bend in your elbows and all the way open your heart to upward facing dog with toes tucked. And then pull your core in and up, press into your palms to glide your way all the way back to downward facing dog. You can bend the knees if you want. Inhale, lift up tall into the toes. Wave it forward through high plank and then all the way into upward facing dog, tractioning palms of hands and toes together all the time. And then exhale, pick up the front line of your body, pull it towards your spine and glide back downward facing dog. One more like that. Inhale up onto your toes, wave it forward. Keep it really fluid, really flowy, so there's never a point where the movement stops. Open your heart, upward facing dog. And then glide it all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your feet up behind your wrists and fold from your hips for ragdoll. Just take a couple of breaths here. You can sway side to side, maybe exaggerate even more than you normally would, so you feel maybe a little more like you're dancing. Bend into one knee and then the other. Let the back of your neck be really long. Breathe there. And feel as though the crown of your head is surrendered so much to gravity that it's pulling you down even more. Good. Draw your feet together to touch and slowly roll all the way up the length of your spine, one vertebra at a time, stacking the joints until finally your head is the very last thing to lift. Ground into your feet, your big toes, your pinky toes, and your heels, and reach your arms out and up overhead for Tadasana Mountain Pose. Inhale. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. Really let this feel luxurious and good. Inhale for halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, and flow, chaturanga, lower down halfway. Inhale for upward facing dog, open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog, pull your front body to your back body, pick up your hips and glide back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step up to the top, forward fold. Halfway lift to grow. Exhale and fold. And 2 more times through Sun A. See how much you can thread the movements together. So it's almost as if it's all just one big motion in this whole sequence. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Halfway lift, grow your spine, grow the back of your heart forward. Exhale, chaturanga, palms plant, step or jump back, lower down halfway, elbows into ribcage. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more like that. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step it up, forward fold. Halfway lift, grow your spine in both directions, and exhale, fold it in. Inhale, Tadasana, let your fingers be floaty. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. Halfway lift, grow. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale to reach your right leg high. Keep the hips square by spiraling your right pinky down to face towards your mat. See how much you can really, really grow. Press down into your palms and kick your heel 1 inch higher. And then exhale, glide it through, right foot steps between both of your palms. Squeeze your inner thighs together and inhale, rise up, high lunge. See how light your fingers can be. Really floaty, slide your shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale, open up and expand into warrior 2. Keep the pulling together of your feet. Bring the tips of your shoulder blades together to touch and let your wingspan broaden so your fingers reach away from each other. Inhale, reverse warrior. Right arm reaches all the way up. And maybe you do something a little different with the left hand. You can go for a half bind, or you can even take it to reach out to the side, sort of parallel to the right. Good. And then exhale, extended side angle. Reach your right fingertips all the way forward and then down just to hover off your mat as the left fingertips lift. Keep the grounding into the feet nice and stable, and maybe float left fingertips all the way forward as if they're coming out from the crown of your head. Good. Inhale, reverse triangle. Squeeze your inner thighs together so much that the right leg pulls more towards straight as the right fingertips reach up overhead and bump your hips a little forward. Exhale, chaturanga, cartwheel all the way down, and maybe you take ekapada, 1 foot hovering away from the mat as you flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg high, square the hips, press into both palms, and see how much you can extend through the left leg. It's like it's lengthening out of your body. And then exhale, glide it through, low lunge. Inner thighs hug together, rise up, high lunge. Shoulder blades float down away from your ears. Right thigh is charged. Exhale, open up for warrior 2. See how fluidly and gracefully you can transition from high lunge to warrior 2, bending into the left knee, pressing down through knife edge of right foot. Inhale to reverse warrior, left fingertips reach up high and then play. Where does the right hand want to go? Maybe it tucks around to the back, or maybe you reach it out long to the side. And see if you can go even further. Exhale, extended side angle, send left fingertips forward and down to the front of your left foot. And then reach right fingertips up. Stay nice and long through the side bodies. So not sinking down, but staying nice and graceful and elevated. Inhale, reverse triangle. Squeeze your inner thighs together to rise you up. Bump your hips a little forward and reach left fingertips all the way up and back. Exhale, chaturanga. Cartwheel down to frame your left foot. Glide your left foot back and flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, we'll flow 2 more times through this Sun B sequence, connecting the breath and the movement, threading everything together, all into one motion. So there's never a stopping point. And with the breath, same thing. There's no retention with the inhales or the exhales. It's one inhale into an exhale. So it almost just becomes one fluid cycle. Inhale to reach your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Inhale, high lunge, rise. Exhale, warrior two, expand. Inhale, reverse warrior all the way up and back. Exhale, extended side angle. Left fingertips lift. Inhale, reverse triangle. Squeeze everything to the midline to reach right fingertips up high. Exhale, chaturanga, cartwheel down. Plant your palms and flow. Upward facing dog to inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two, open up and expand. Inhale, reverse warrior, left fingertips go up and back. Exhale, extended side angle. Come down with the left fingertips as the right fingertips lift. Inhale, reverse triangle, squeeze the inner thighs together, left fingertips flicker up overhead, floaty. Exhale, chaturanga, cartwheel down and flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more each side. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, reach front and reach up. And then reverse triangle, right fingertips lift all the way up and back. Cartwheel it down and flow. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Find joy in these movements. Inhale to lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step through. Inhale, rise, high lunge. Exhale, so fluid, moving through water. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, shift it forward. Reach up with right fingertips. Inhale, reverse triangle, inner thighs pull together. Exhale, chaturanga all the way down and flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, look forward to the top of your mat. And exhale, step it up to forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Lengthen your whole spine, shift weight into your toes, and exhale, fold in. Inhale for chair pose. Sink weight back into your heels and then slowly ripple your fingertips up overhead. See how much you can pull your whole core in and up as the hips sink a little lower and the ribs pull together, lowest set of ribs together and down. Inhale to create more length from the core of your pelvis to the crown of your head. Exhale for drinking bird. Come up onto the balls of your toes and roll your arms down next to your sides, drawing triceps together, shoulder blades pull together so the chest stays nice and puffed up. And then sink from here so the torso can melt a little forward. Staying up really tall onto the balls of your feet. And see if you can stay with the heels elevated as you rise all the way up for Tadasana. Squeeze your inner thighs together, stay up tall onto the toes, and then exhale, dive it down, forward fold. You can ground the heels as you dive down. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your fingertips and step your left toes all the way to the back of your mat. Squeeze inner thighs together and inhale to reach fingertips up high for high lunge. And again, see if you can press up onto the ball of your right foot so the right heel lifts and hovers away from your mat. So you're here balancing on the balls of both of your feet. Keep the core connected and keep the engagement, the hug together of both inner thighs. And exhale, take a little back bend with the heels elevated, really strong in the legs. Good. Re-ground the right heel. Inhale to reach fingertips up overhead. Exhale, plant your palms and step back to high plank. Shift your weight so that both of your heels swivel toward the left side of your mat. Bend at your knees and ground down through the soles of both of your feet. Both palms are still connected to your mat here. And stick your butt out. Good. And then from here, press into your left palm and both of your feet to see if you can bring your right arm up to cactus. And you can stay here, or always an option to lower down to your bottom knee for a kneeling side plank. Or maybe press more into the sole of the left foot, the big toe mound and the heel, and see if you can bring your right knee up. And then maybe you work to straighten the right leg and the right arm. Really expressive, really fluid, and really floaty. Press more away from the mat to lift higher. And then slowly release it all back down. Right foot steps down, right palm plants. Roll back to high plank and exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Take a clearing breath to let that go. Big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step up to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to elongate the spine. Exhale, fold into yourself. Inhale, chair pose, sink low and back into your heels. Let the toes be light and floaty as the arms ripple up overhead. Core is connected all the time. Inhale, grow your spine. Exhale, drinking bird. Glide your arms down next to you and come up onto balls of feet. Melt your heart a little more forward. And stay with the heels lifted, inner thighs squeezing together, and see if you can rise all the way up to Tadasana to stand. Good. Inhale. Exhale, re-ground your heels and dive it down, forward fold. Halfway lift, iron out your spine. Exhale, plant your palms or your fingertips down and step right toes all the way back. Inhale to squeeze inner thighs together and rise, high lunge, connect your core. And then pick up your left heel, coming onto the ball of your left foot, and maybe the hips can sink and melt a little more forward. Stay charged through the right quad, so the right heel stays hovering over the ball of your right foot. Inhale. Exhale, take a little back bend. Always an option to lower the left heel if this is a little too much. Good, re-ground the left heel. Inhale, fingertips reach up overhead. Exhale, plant the palms and step your left toes back to high plank. And now we roll both of the heels, this time to the right side of your mat. So the soles of both of your feet come down and the heels come down. Stick your butt out, really grow longer through the left side of your body, and then press into your right palm and both of your feet to reach your left elbow up high in a cactus. Good. Stay here, or maybe play with pressing more into the right foot to float your left knee up high, and then elongate. Send your right hand and your right foot away from each other and down into your mat as you grow more through the left leg and the left arm, maybe. And stay wherever you are on this journey, on this process, but see how graceful you can feel wherever you are. And then slowly step your way all the way back down. Come back to high plank, facing forward, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg high, open at the right hip, and slowly revolve your way into wild thing. Turn your left toes to face more toward the front of your mat. Press the tips of your right toes down into your mat. Pick up your hips and grow really long, all the way from right fingertips out through left toes. Exhale, roll it all the way back around to downward facing dog, planting your right palm down and step out your feet. Inhale, reach your left leg high, open at the hip, and exhale, turn into wild thing. As gracefully as you can, step left toes down behind you. Pick up your whole front line of your body, supported by your right shoulder blade, and grow from left fingertips out through right toes. And exhale, swivel it back around to downward facing dog. Lower down to your knees. Sink your hips back onto your heels and bring your palms to face up on your thighs. Close your eyes. Just feel. Let your breath move through your whole body like waves, connecting with every fiber. Blink your eyes open. Make your way to sit down, and then roll all the way down to lie on your back. Send your left leg out long and draw your right knee into your chest. Give it a hug. Take a big inhale and exhale to pull your knee in a bit closer. And then straighten your right leg up toward the ceiling. It doesn't have to be totally straight, but the sole of the right foot comes up to the sky. And then grab for what's accessible, maybe at the back of the right hamstring, or maybe the calf, or maybe the ankle or the foot. As you inhale, get longer from your right hip point up through right toes. And as you exhale, bend at your knee and try to drive your right knee in closer to your right shoulder. And then inhale to stretch the leg more straight. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, point your toes and really pull your leg in towards your chest. Exhale, one more bend. Drive right knee toward right shoulder. Inhale, point the toes, straighten your leg, and then glide it all the way down to your mat, nice and long. Pull your left knee into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze it in. And then straighten the leg or close to straight or whatever is accessible in your body. Send the sole of your left foot up toward the ceiling and grab for what's accessible. Inhale to lengthen from your hip bone up to your toes. Exhale, sink your left knee into your chest. Inhale, stretch the back line of the left leg, straighten and point the toes. And then exhale, flex your toes towards your face, bend your knee and drive the knee in towards your chest. Inhale, straighten the knee. And one more like that. Bend your knee, drive it into the chest. And then get long and extend and see how close you can pull your left thigh into your chest. And then let it go and let it just float all the way back down to rest on your mat. Draw the soles of your feet together to touch and let your knees fall open. So like a nice big diamond for Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring one hand to your low belly and one up to your heart. Feel the breath moving through your torso, into your low belly, into your chest. And let the knees just surrender to gravity. So they're falling a little bit more open the longer that you stay. If this is not comfortable on your hips or your knees, you can always just extend the legs straight out long, like Savasana, or you could take broken bridge by sending your feet out to the wide edges of your mat and letting your knees fall in together. And we'll just stay here for a couple more breaths. Connect to all the places where your body meets the earth and settle more there. You can either stay in Supta Baddha Konasana or bring your knees back slowly together to meet. Draw them into your chest. Roll in the base of your spine to release the low back. And then pull into a nice and tight hug. Inhale. And exhale, float down into Shavasana. Let your whole body go. Any engagement, any effort, all gone, only relaxation. Sometimes I like to imagine that there's two sandbags sitting in the palms of my hands to really feel weighted down into the earth and also to expand the surface area of the palms more, to feel more receptive. Let your heart settle. Let your face soften. See how much you can surrender. And begin to bring fluid breath back into your body. And like it's just washing through the whole system from head to toe. And feel into all of the new energy, the new tingling and swirling in your body, and allow this to bring little movements back to your fingers and your toes. You can point and flex your feet. Maybe you roll your head from one side to the other. And then imagine that you're being stretched out super long from fingers to toes as you take your arms back behind you for a long body stretch. Exhale and melt your way onto one side for fetal pose. Whatever feels the most spacious, go there. And slowly, without any effort, just make your way back to a nice and spacious seat. Let your chest be proud. Let your head come up tall. Eyes are closed, or maybe the gaze is soft. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears and just feel floaty, feel graceful, sitting right here with the best posture you can imagine. Draw your palms to meet at your heart and breathe with fluidity into your whole body, the whole system. And gracefully draw your thumbs up to your third eye and bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for dancing with me today, for flowing and moving with this fluidity and this sense of freedom and threading everything together so it's all connected. It really feels so nice, and I hope you're feeling great, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.